Hey guys, so today we're going to be going over some stats. So, from 1 to 100 you get 198, and then you're forced to use at least 2 stats for after rebirth, so that's only 92 even though it gives you 30 your first rebirth. It takes away 4 from every stat, so you'll be using at least 2, so that gives you 92. You have a maximum of 24 from rings, 20 from passives, slash 10 if you're a wanderer. So that's 336 total. That's a lot of points, guys. That's only 64 off from 200. So some easy builds that are totally accomplishable if you have absolutely like no ruins. You can go for a 160 build, which would work just fine. So 160 into 2 stats. You could go for a 140 build, which probably I just assume would work better with that, assuming 180 is dex and 140 is int. You could go for 120 but depending on what you're using, that might actually not work too well, assuming like 120 is int or strength and 200 is dex, because you'd actually need a pretty good weapon for that one. Or assuming you need some Vite also, you would add an additional stat allocation point. That would bring your rebirth 8 down to 88 points total. But you'd also get a plus 10 because of the extra passive area. And you could do somewhat around a 160, 180 if you just added some like cheap orbs or a few ruins. So those are all some builds that I'd recommend. So he's kind of old, so just kind of ignore it. But he is running the full dex rest Vite build because of holes in his armor, so that kind of helps mitigate that. But he's also got the 2-hand sword, so that keeps his damage from being underwhelming. So let's go ahead and talk about dex, which is what I'm pretty sure is the most important stat. I recommend no less than 140. Like, if you can't hit 140, then I'd almost say just don't even put any in there at all. Just run like a strength or int rest Vite build if you can't reach that much dex. So, in addition to that 336 from earlier, every class has their own passives in their different advanced classes, and this is assuming you're rebirth 8, so you'll be getting a lot of extra points from these passives. Also with these passives are things that if you fulfill certain weapon requirements, you get things like plus 30 attack, plus 30 magic attack, plus this defense, whatever. Use the hell out of those. Those are so much more important than a hidden. Like, there's one in particular on well, I know Rogue's got Assassin, which I think gives plus 30, and if you take that times 2, that's plus 60. Then there's Glacial for Magician, it gives you plus 30, and then defense too if you're all water, so that's like plus 60 and like I think plus 40 defense. That's nuts. That is so much more than a hidden. That brings a 10-star non-rune up to like a 10-star rune. Like, it's that big of a difference. It's fucking crazy. So, also talking about dex here, your min is always going to be the higher number if you're a full dex build. Now keep in mind that that number can be 400 trillion and it would not affect your crit damage, only your max affects it. That's something I've been having to tell a lot recently. Dex is a priority. You absolutely need it. Like, just go for it. So considering if you've got really good armor or a good crysta or something, or a good combo of both, a cheap method, like cheaper compared to normal, would be to run some magic defense gear and then like dump all your extra points to vitality, because min doesn't give you health but Vite does. That way you can be like strong and resistant to both. It's a good battle plan. You just got to think it through and hash out what I'm saying. I've got limited time in this video. So I gave some easy builds, and these are all totally accomplishable with what you're given for like without paying. So long as you've got like the tenacity to reach rebirth 8 without like plopping it out at like level 90 every time using a bunch of gems and gold. So okay, that was, I said the min max thing there. Oh yeah, so in the rune case, so once you hit 200 on a stat, so say you're 200 200, like I got 200 strength and 200 int, you get no more bonuses. So max attack, which normally is in higher numbers than plus blank strength, is worth just as much as that strength because you're working to build that max attack up, not your min. You don't even care about your min as a dex build. I know I kind of just preached dex here, but that's the stat you want, guys. The rest on your play style, that's completely up to you. Like you fucking bad at dodging or something, dump that shit into Vite. If you're acceptable at dodging, dump it into your strength or int. That's all I got, guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.